Hello and welcome to Zero Cool Gaming and this week in the news. Today we're going to be talking about The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Okay, so what is this series? I don't know. In fact, it's been deliberately vague, and for good reason. But what I can honestly say is at least they have told me what it is that they've created and given me good reason to never watch it. So in that respect, I do thank them very much for telling me that this show is not for me. That's that's a plus for them because they have a horrible tendency to lie to me. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is they lied to me when they created um, Star Trek Discovery. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, I've watched Star Trek my entire life. I loved most of it. But the new stuff, all of it, is trash. And let me tell you why. Okay, what Star Trek used to be was a show that would ask a difficult question and then give honest arguments on both sides of that question. Whether it was theological, whether it was grounded, or whether it was moral. It didn't matter what the subject matter was, they provided an honest argument on both sides. That's what I liked about the show. Didn't matter what side they sided with. To me, it didn't matter how things turned out in that respect. What I found interesting about the show is that it would provide you with an honest argument from both sides. Star Trek Discovery did not do that. Star Trek Discovery would present a question, give you an obvious biased argument from one side and an insane argument from the other. There's nothing honest about that at that point. That's why I stopped watching the show relatively quickly. Because they weren't being honest. They were not providing an honest argument to both sides. And that to me is trash. It truly doesn't matter which side I would have or would have not sided with. It didn't matter how it turned out to me. What mattered was the fact that they weren't even willing to provide an honest argument from both sides. Therefore, the show became trash. Same thing can be said for Star Wars. Okay, I own 6 Star Wars movies. The last 3, I will never own. I couldn't even make it all the way through the first of the last 3, and no, I don't even remember what the name of it was. That's how much it upset me. They had diverged so far away from the source material, I couldn't even recognize it as Star Wars anymore. I don't know what those last 3 movies were, but as far as I'm concerned, they had nothing to do with the Star Wars universe. They were something else. Now, when it comes to The Lord of the Rings, I have spent quite a bit of money over the years into this fantasy world. I was first introduced to this fantasy world through the cartoons, and I found them interesting. But they were, for the most part, these were designed, for kids or younger audiences, which is understandable. I get that. Um, but I wanted to learn more about the fantasy universe. So I got the books and I read those. I found them very interesting. Just like I found the universe very interesting. The lore, the history, all of it. And then when it came to the movies, I own all 6 of the movies. Are they true to the source material? No, there's a lot of liberties taken. But it's close enough, and it's done well, that it didn't bother me. It was still enjoyable. It was entertainment. I have no faith whatsoever that this will be entertainment. This, to me, is going to be trash. And I hope it fails. Not because I hate the people who are in it or I don't like, whatever it's going to be about. It's because I know that they have created their own thing that has truly nothing to do with the Lord of the Rings or the lore or the history or any of that. Slap this name on it in the hopes that people will watch and support just because of the name. And I'm sure there will be people who do that. I will never support this. I hope that one year, sometime in the future, it'll probably take many years from now before this happens, but Hollywood absolutely goes bankrupt because they continue to produce trash. I would prefer them to produce entertainment. I would prefer them to produce things that I enjoy. But that doesn't seem to be what their agenda is right now. Their agenda seems to be to produce this type of trash that is not entertainment, has never been entertainment, and is not something that I will support in any way, shape, or form. But that's me. You know? They could have created the exact same thing that they created here, put a different name on it, and I wouldn't be here making this video now because it would not have upset me. And I can give you an example of what I mean by that. I don't know how many of you have watched The Outpost, but it was a TV show a few years back. It was only on for a couple of episodes, and they canceled it, which is fine. It didn't get enough support, or I don't know why they canceled it, but I enjoyed the heck out of it. There are a lot of similarities, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot of similarities between the world of The Outpost and the fantasy world that Tolkien had created. Do I care how similar these two universes are? Absolutely not. And I didn't care when I was watching it either. And the reason is because this was not that universe. Period. It doesn't matter how much similarity there may be. It's not that universe. Therefore, it wouldn't have mattered what they did with this story. It wouldn't have bothered me. It wouldn't have upset me. And they could have done the same thing to the Rings of Power. They could have slapped some generic name on here that had nothing to do with the Lords of the Rings or J.R. Tolkien and created their exact same movie with the exact same people, the exact same everything, and it wouldn't have bothered me. Still wouldn't have watched it, but it wouldn't have bothered me. But that's not what they chose to do. They chose to put this name on here in the hopes that that would be enough to draw in the extra amount of support that they need for this to be profitable. Because they know without this name, there's no way that what they have produced would ever be profitable. And like I said, I truly hope that this, even with this name on it, fails utterly. Hopefully enough people are waking up to the trash that they're producing to realize this is just more trash. Who knows? Maybe one day we'll find out. But for now, this is the future of entertainment, I guess. They're going to continue to produce things that are not entertaining, that I will never watch, I will never pay for, I will never support, and I will just have to endure through these years of propaganda and agenda pushing until hopefully they fail so hard that they have to start producing things that are entertaining again just to support themselves. If nothing else, I am absolutely positive that as they continue to lose billions of dollars on these failed projects, just to keep themselves alive, they will start producing entertainment. I have no idea how many years that is going to take. We have supported the entertainment industry, I myself included, for decades. So they probably have trillions of dollars saved up to produce this trash, and they can continue to produce this trash for many, many years before they will be forced to do otherwise because their bank accounts are so low. That's just an unfortunate reality that we actually created. You know, it upsets me that my thank you for all the support that I provided these people over the years is now you get to watch a bunch of propaganda and trash that we produce because we want you to think insanely. But hey, that's the reality of what I'm dealing with today in today's world. They want to produce a bunch of trash to get me to think like they want me to, and I refuse. The easiest way to avoid all of it is to just simply not watch it, not support it, not pay for it, not buy it in any way, shape, or form. Tell them they can keep their rings of power all to themselves. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. Anyway, that's my rant for the day, and I hope that you enjoy the rest of yours.